is a line pilot for Avery Air Service, a commercial air service with a fleet of both fixed and rotary wing aircraft. The company operates 2 bases, one at the head office and one located 500 miles to the north in a small mining community. Avery Air Service is owned by Ambico Mines, a large mining concern. For the past 3 years, Alan Brady has also been the company aviation safety officer. In that time, Alan and the management team have set up a company aviation safety management program, and they are beginning to see some payoffs. The president of Avery Air, Carl Denton, has asked Alan to report on the progress of the safety program to Ambico's board of directors. They are anxious to finally hear some good news because the past years have been turbulent times for Avery Air. A series of incidents plagued Avery almost from the start. Then, a fatal accident. The effects were devastating. Equipment damage, rising insurance premiums, low morale, and fewer customers nearly put Avery out of business. Avery executives realized that if the company were to survive, they would need to take steps quickly to better manage the inherent risks.
Okay. It's not often that we get everybody together, but I think you'd all agree that circumstances warrant such a meeting. And don't worry, I'm not here to preach doom and gloom. On the contrary, I'm here to share some good news. We've all had a chance to think over what happened. We've all taken a good hard look at what we're doing and where we're spending our time and money. We realize that it's time to go back and review the basics. Because if they're off track, well, then our procedures down the line may be wrong too. Every flight we make must be thoroughly thought out, even if it's one we've made 1,000 times before. We must think of the aircraft and make sure all the bits and pieces are installed and maintained correctly. Every decision we make must be thought through. If we can think about what we're going to do before we do it, we can eliminate most of the problems that have plagued us in the past. Call it risk management, call it safety promotion or accident prevention, call it what you will, it all boils down to this. How do we identify, analyze, evaluate, control, and live with the risks we know come with the business of flying? As of today, I'm pleased to announce Avery Air Service will have a company aviation safety management program of its own. And before I introduce the person who will be in charge of the program, I'd like to read our statement of policy, which establishes the program guidelines. It is the intention of Avery Air Service to reduce or eliminate all damage to equipment and property and injury to personnel and passengers. Avery's aviation safety management program will include all aspects of operations and all other measures necessary to carry out the above stated objective. The Chief Executive Officer assumes full responsibility for the safety of employees and the public. Responsibility for implementing the safety program rests with Avery's directors and department heads. These responsibilities include the authority to establish program support in their departments. Avery will designate an aviation safety officer to manage the program and report directly to the Chief Executive Officer. It is the safety officer's responsibility to coordinate the development program, evaluate its results, and provide advice and guidance on its implementation. This responsibility includes the requirement to inform all employees about the program and specify internal safety reporting, safety audits, and incentive programs. All Avery Air Service employees will abide by the standards and procedures set forth in the company's aviation safety management program. I'm pleased to announce that Alan Brady has accepted the duties of safety officer. I think you'll all agree that Alan's flying experience and his knowledge of safety issues will be an asset to the program. Alan is just back from a training course at Transport Canada. So I'd like him to tell us what he'll be doing to get the program off the ground.
Before I explain anything, I'd I'd just like to say that I appreciate the opportunity to do something to help Avery get back on track. Okay, here's how I see our safety program shaping up. To start with, you're going to be seeing me and hearing from me a lot more. Because, first of all, I'll be doing a safety survey of the entire company. Yes, that means I'm going to be going around asking people a lot of questions. So I'm going to need everybody's help right off the bat. Because without your input, I can't assess the overall situation. I'm going to be setting up a safety committee. Hope to have the first meeting before the end of the month. And Wendy, as flight watch officer, you'll be a key player in that committee. We'll talk a lot more during the survey. I'm going to have to be doing a lot more reading to keep our safety information up to date so that the right data gets to the right people at the right time. I'll be scheduling regular safety meetings so that we can all have input and work together to find solutions. I know that Sam, Jeff, and Don will be there with their valuable suggestions, right, guys? Look, this isn't my safety program, it's ours. And our future could very well depend on its success. Thanks.
I'd just like to add that the management team is behind this program 100%. But management alone, or Brady, or one department alone, won't make it work. It will only work if we pull together. That means two-way communication, not just from the top down. I'm counting on your input and help. Believe me, the sky is the limit for Avery.
Brady's first task was to assist management in assessing current procedures and to determine what risk control systems were already in place. Employee feedback is one way to identify potential problems.
Hey, Brady.
Bill, how's it going?
Just fine. Thought we had a flap problem on approach. We checked it out and found the flap position indicator was US. I made a note of it in the journey log.
Yeah, thanks. Where have you been?
We just finished the northern sked run. Yeah, they're going to have to get the snowplow out to widen the taxiway up at Owl's Head. There's not a lot of room to maneuver.
Well, I'm meeting with Pete and the others later today. I'll bring it up with them.
Good.
Could you fill out a hazard report for me, please?
Sure, no problem.
Thanks a lot. When you finish, maybe...
Feedback systems like incident and hazard reports are an important means of identifying potential problems. Sessions like this one are held on a regular basis to keep safety awareness foremost in the minds of everyone in the company. It is an open forum, providing an opportunity for input and fostering an atmosphere of cooperation that is conducive to solving problems.
Okay. I think that's it for the winter survival kit.
Don't forget to take the survival kit into account when doing your weight and balance computations.
Any other tips on winter ops?
One more thing. Remember to install the engine plugs if the Twin Otter's parked outside overnight. We had an in-flight engine shutdown last winter because of snow in the engine air intakes.
That's good advice, Bill. And there's more info in the winter ops newsletter here. Okay, I'm including an amendment which the ops manager asked me to pass on. It's an update to the emergency response plan and will replace the one you'll find in section 6 of your ops manual.
But feedback only comes when an aviation safety officer has gained the trust and confidence of his fellow employees. Interpersonal skills are important. To give advice. To mold attitudes. To listen and detect changes in personality that might compromise performance and safety. Information is essential to an effective safety management program. From the start, Alan set about building a database of information pertaining to all aspects of aviation safety. Data pertaining to standardization of equipment and operating procedures, relating to safety in general, and Avery's situation in particular. Information is obtained from manufacturers, safety publications, trade associations, accident reports, insurance companies, and by maintaining a close liaison with Transport Canada's regional aviation safety officers. The business of managing the company aviation safety program is conducted here at a meeting of the Safety Committee. The committee consists of the safety officer, acting as secretary and advisor, the chief pilot, chief engineer, flight watch officer, and the operations manager, chairman of the committee.
So, Wendy, we'll follow up on those FM repeaters and see if we can't get you the extra radio coverage you need.
Great.
Next item, I understand, Brady, that something has to be done about the overhead breaker panels in the helicopters.
Oh, yeah, it was pointed out to me that the labeling on the breakers is inconsistent from aircraft to aircraft. I checked it out with Phil, and we agree that there is some potential for confusion.
Well, it sounds like we should look into standardizing the panels. Phil, I'd like you and Alan to come up with a plan, and I'd like to move quickly on this.
Recognition is a powerful incentive for employees to participate in the safety program.
And I know this is the minute you all been waiting for. And Wendy, will you come up here, please?
Although it took some effort to convince senior management of the merits of an award system, Alan has since recorded a significantly larger response.
In summary, then, once the decision was made by management to have a safety program, I was sent on a company aviation safety officers course offered by Transport Canada. On my return, a complete survey of all operations was carried out to assess procedures. We established a database of safety information. Incidents and hazard reporting systems were put into place. A safety committee was formed, and we began regularly scheduled safety meetings. And finally, a recognition program was implemented to encourage participation. Our experience with the safety program has shown us that there are many payoffs built right into it. It's helped us lower our operating costs. We can now get better insurance rates, for instance. And it's made our overall operations more cost efficient and contributed to our maintenance program, which has meant longer life for our aircraft. By all reports, and judging from our passenger lists and cargo assignments, I'd say Avery Air Service has established a reputation for running a smooth, safe operation. And personally, as company aviation safety officer, I couldn't ask for anything better.